Sarah Matthews had built her empire from nothing. At 38, she commanded a Fortune 500 company with the fierce determination of someone who had clawed her way up from poverty. Her stilettos clicked against marble floors like a metronome of success, each step echoing through the gleaming headquarters of Matthews Associates. But success had come at a price. Somewhere along the way, she had forgotten what it felt like to truly see people. The elevator doors slid open with a whisper on the 42nd floor, revealing Sarah's pristine reflection in the polished steel. She stepped inside, her mind already racing through the day's agenda: board meeting at 9, merger discussions at 11, investor calls until 6. The familiar hum of ascending machinery was interrupted by hurried footsteps. "Hold the elevator, please." Sarah's finger hovered over the close button. She had a reputation to maintain, schedules to keep. But something made her press the hold button instead. An elderly man in a janitor's uniform rushed in, slightly out of breath, followed by a small boy who couldn't have been more than 7 years old. "Thank you, Mom," the janitor said, his voice carrying a slight accent. "This is my son, Miguel." "Say hello, my Joe." The boy looked up at Sarah with wide, dark eyes but remained silent. His father nudged him gently. "Miguel, remember your manners." Sarah offered a tight smile and returned to her phone, scrolling through emails. The elevator began its descent from the executive floor. 39th floor, 38th. The silence stretched between them, broken only by the soft ding of each passing level. Then Miguel tugged on his father's sleeve and whispered something in Spanish. The janitor's face grew troubled. "What did he say?" Sarah found herself asking, surprising even herself. The janitor hesitated. He said you shouldn't talk too loud. He thinks someone might be listening." Sarah frowned. "Listening? What are you talking about?" Miguel looked directly at her then, his young face serious beyond his years. "Don't talk," he said in careful English. "The bad man is watching." A chill ran down Sarah's spine. "What bad man?" Before anyone could answer, the elevator shuddered to a stop between the 22nd and 21st floors. The lights flickered once, twice, then went out completely, plunging them into darkness. Sarah's heart hammered against her ribs. "What's happening?" In the pitch black, she heard Miguel's small voice, calm and steady. "Papa, tell her about the man with the tattoo." The janitor's voice was barely a whisper. "Miguel has been coming to work with me for 3 weeks since his grandmother got sick. He's very observant. Yesterday, he saw a man tampering with this elevator's control panel. A man with a snake tattoo on his hand." Sarah's blood turned to ice. She knew exactly who that was. Vincent Reyes, her former business partner whom she'd had arrested for embezzlement 6 months ago. He'd been released on bail just last week, and his lawyer had been making threats about getting even. "The boy saw him?" Sarah whispered. "See," Miguel's father continued. "Miguel wanted to tell someone, but who would believe a janitor's son? We are invisible to most people in this building. But Miguel, he made me promise we would warn you if we saw you again." The elevator groaned ominously. Sarah realized with growing horror that this wasn't a malfunction, it was sabotage. Vincent must have rigged the elevator to stop between floors, maybe worse. Her phone had no signal this deep in the building. "Miguel knew," she breathed. "That's why he told me not to talk." In case Vincent was listening somehow. In the darkness, she felt a small hand slip into hers. Miguel's voice was barely audible. "My papa always says bad people want to hurt good people, but good people should help each other." Tears she hadn't shed in years began to fall. Here was a 7-year-old boy and his father, invisible to everyone in her corporate world, risking their jobs, maybe their safety, to protect her, while she had been too busy to even acknowledge their existence beyond a cursory nod. "Why?" she asked, her voice breaking. "Why would you help me? I don't even know your last name. I've walked past you hundreds of times and never really seen you." The janitor's voice was gentle in the darkness. "Because that's what we do. We help. It doesn't matter if people see us or not, Miguel. He has a good heart." When he saw that bad man, he said, "Papa, we have to protect the lady in the pretty dresses." Sarah sobbed openly now, all her carefully constructed walls crumbling. "I'm so sorry. I've been so blind, so selfish. I built this company thinking success meant not needing anyone, not caring about anyone." The elevator shuddered again, and Sarah heard the unmistakable sound of cables straining. They were in real danger. The emergency phone, she remembered suddenly, feeling along the wall until she found the panel. She pressed the button, praying it worked on a separate system. "Emergency services. This is Matthew's building. Elevator 7 is trapped between floors 21 and 22. We need immediate assistance. Help is on the way," came the crackling response. "Stay calm and stay together." 45 minutes later, firefighters pried open the doors. As they helped the three of them to safety, police officers were already leading Vincent Reyes away in handcuffs. They'd found his surveillance equipment in a utility closet. He'd been planning something far worse than just trapping Sarah in an elevator. 2 weeks later, Sarah stood in the same elevator. But everything had changed. The man beside her wasn't just the janitor anymore. He was Carlos Hernandez, 10 years with the company, father of 3, working 2 jobs to pay for his wife's cancer treatments. His son Miguel wasn't just that kid. He was a second grader who loved dinosaurs and wanted to be a paleontologist. Sarah had restructured her entire company. Every employee now had full healthcare benefits. She'd created a scholarship fund for employees' children. And she'd instituted something revolutionary: monthly coffee meetings where any employee, from executive to custodial staff, could sit down with her and talk. "Mrs. Sarah," Miguel said as they reached the ground floor, his small hand finding hers just like that day in the darkness. "Papa says you're different now." Sarah knelt down to his eye level. "You know what, Miguel? You and your papa taught me something very important. Real success isn't about how high you climb, it's about who you lift up along the way." Carlos smiled, his eyes bright with unshed tears. "Miguel, he always said you had a good heart. He just knew it was hiding." As they walked through the lobby together, Sarah realized that being truly wealthy had nothing to do with the numbers in her bank account. It was about the richness of human connection, the power of seeing and being seen, and the profound courage of a 7-year-old boy who chose kindness over invisibility. The little voice that had whispered "don't talk" in a darkened elevator had actually taught her how to truly listen, not just to words, but to the hearts of the people she'd been too busy to notice. And in learning to see them, she had finally found herself.